Aloha everyone, this is Max with Asian Geek Squad, and you know what? We are here to review the ASUS Zenfone 3 Deluxe 5.7 inch edition. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Does it take to join the Android flagship devices? Stay tuned for our review and find out. Cut. First thing let's talk about is build quality. Compared to the previous iteration of the Zenfone family, the Zenfone 3 comes with an all-metal design, and to be honest, it looks effing awesome. And let's go around the ports. As you can see here, it comes with a USB-C port, speakers, power button, all in metal, volume rocker, 3.5mm jack, which we know that the latest iPhone doesn't have, and of course a dual SIM. Check out this video here if you have a question about setting up your dual SIM and your expandable storage. We recorded a previous tutorial, so don't forget to check that out. Now the display is a Corning Gorilla Glass 4 with a 1080p Full HD resolution, and to be honest, it's pretty bright. I don't have many complaints about it. I can use it in the sun, especially here in Hawaii where it's really bright. Now, other specs that it has is a 23 megapixel camera, and here we'll show you a couple of sample pictures that we have. Some other reviewers have said that the camera is lackluster, but I haven't found that to be true. I've been using this phone for about 10 days now, and the camera is just fine. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's an awesome phone for the price that you're paying, and an awesome camera. Now, there are different modes on the camera as well, and let's check that out. So here you can see that there's the different modes: beautification, selfie panorama, which is kind of unique for this particular device, auto, night, HDR Pro effect, which is basically setting up filters, low light, and you can also create GIFs, slow motion, and time lapse. And we'll also post a couple of sample pictures and sample videos on our website as well, so don't forget to check that out. Now, the front-facing camera is pretty amazing. For me, there's a beautification option, but to me it's just a little bit too much. So here's a picture of me before modification or before beautification. And here's another one where it just a little bit too much for guys. See, I guess if you want your skin smooth out, it's great. But for me, I kind of look weird. So just set it on auto option if you're taking a selfie and you'll be fine. Now, one thing that's different about this particular one is the operating system. There's an overlay, which is actually pretty cool. So for example, you can swipe down on any screen to do a search for any apps. So it's kind of a cool feature to have in case you're looking for a particular app and all you do is search. And let's go ahead and search for maps. And there you go. So the application is searched right there, and also it does a search engine. So you can tap here on one of these particular search options below, and it will open Google, and you're basically doing a search. And another thing you can do with the OS that's a shortcut is you swipe from the bottom up, and you can manage home. Here you can manage your app and widgets, change your home screen, download an icon pack, which is of course unique to Android. And also the Zen UI theme, there's just a bunch of different preferences, customization that really makes this OS a little bit more interesting than I guess other Android versions out there. I like it a little bit better than, let's say, Samsung's UI, which I'm not really a big fan of, but I think ASUS gets it right with their particular operating system overlay. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is the battery life. The battery life on this thing is amazing. Recently, I did a 2.5-hour run, and pretty much after the run, I'll include a couple of screenshots here, that after that run, I had 87% battery life after 2.5 hours of running Runkeeper in the background, which pretty much tracks my running, GPS, speed, etc., elevation, and also while streaming Spotify. So that's really amazing for a phone like this, and it also comes with quick charging. Now, there are some features of the ASUS Zenfone 3 Deluxe 5.7 edition. I really gotta come up with a shorter name for that, or please come up with a shorter name for that. Is, for example, It does come with quick charging, but it doesn't come with wireless charging. So for those of you who have already bought your key wireless charging setup, it will not work with this device. So another gripe with the ASUS Zenfone 3 is, considering you're paying $499, it's not water resistant, or at least it's not certified to be. And that's kind of disappointing, considering that other devices out there are starting to get, other devices out there are starting to integrate water resistance into their device, which would have been a nice feature to have. Another thing is, with the settings in terms of the data, you can only have one 4G data at a time. So you would actually have to switch to your preference to get the 4G. So now we have SIM2 as our preferred data service network, but if you wanted to have SIM1 also use 4G rather, you would have to switch to SIM1. So you would always have to go into the settings and change that. So it's a little bit minor for those of you who are really looking forward to 4G speeds on both of your SIMs, especially if that's one of the reasons you got this phone. Now let's go over performance. I'm just going to go ahead and run the ANTUTU test. And let's go ahead and close up all the apps and get that started. Okay, so I've tested this before and it shows the particular score we got, 136,269, which, ranking with the other smartphones out there, is currently number 13, which actually isn't bad considering that the other devices up here are way more expensive. The iPhone 7 Plus, the iPhone 7 are way more in price, but then you also have cheaper phones that are on this ranking, such as the OnePlus 3, which is $100 cheaper, and also the Xiaomi M5. But considering what you get, this device does handle pretty well. But let's go ahead and test again. But needless to say, on a day-to-day basis, you won't have any problems browsing the web, multitasking, opening up various applications, even watching YouTube, and multitasking, and etc. etc. You will not have any issues like that whatsoever. So that's one of the cool things about having a device like this one with the specs that are built in. Now, if you guys do have any questions about performance, don't forget to leave us a comment down below, or if you have a question about a particular application. Alright, well, sorry for the delay in getting this review out. If you guys have any questions about this device, don't forget to enter our giveaway as well. Link in the description below. Thank you guys for all of your support. Aloha.